She was savagely killed. She was decapitated.
Liese Dodd was 8 months pregnant when her boyfriend murdered her. Now he's going to prison for decades. Liese's mother is here to remember her.
She was very much looking forward to becoming a mom.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Liese Dodd was 22 years old in June of 2022. She was 8 months pregnant with her first child, a girl. She had dreams and was excited to become a mom. All of that tragically ended when her boyfriend, Deundrea Holloway, brutally murdered her in Alton, Illinois. The couple's relationship had been described as on again, off again, and Holloway was abusive. The Madison County State Attorney recently announced that Deundrea Holloway will spend 60 years in prison for Liese Dodd's murder. His pregnant girlfriend, Holloway, killed Liese, decapitated her, and put her head in a trash can. It's a horrific, horrific crime. You'll hear from the Alton police chief shortly. Holloway accepted a plea deal. He pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, intentional homicide of an unborn child, and concealment of a homicidal death, leading to his sentence. The Illinois Supreme Court ruled an unborn child couldn't be considered a second murder victim for purposes of seeking a life sentence for Holloway. Holloway was not the father of the unborn child. This plea deal spares Liese Dodd's family from reliving the horrific crime all over again during a trial. The Madison County State Attorney said in a statement, "For the family and loved ones of Liese, these types of issues have caused continued angst and uncertainty. This guilty conviction ends that. Our hope is that this conviction and sentence provide the family and loved ones some assurance and will be a step toward healing." In June of 2022, Alton Police Chief Marcos Pulido was so appalled by the crime, he released a video where he talked about the facts of the case.
Last week, June 9th, at about 12:59 p.m., the Alton Police Department did respond to a residence in the 3400 block of Boulevard Street in reference to a possible homicide. What was observed, what was learned, what was found is absolutely terrible. Every murder is absolutely terrible. We'll never take that away. But what happened to 22-year-old Liese Dodd, who had just moved to this place in Alton, is beyond irreprehensible. It's abominable. It is completely terrible what happened to her. Deundrea Holloway, 22 years of age, who had an address from the Litchfield area and was from that general area, has been charged with her murder.
This case is the type that makes me want to search for Deundrea Holloway on truthfinder.com. Truthfinder is one of the largest public records search services out there. When I looked up Holloway, an old case appeared that had been dismissed, but the murder case doesn't yet show up. Truthfinder is really great because it will show you criminal and traffic records, a person's past and current addresses, phone numbers, and social media accounts. And the thing that I love about it, you can see the sex offenders who live in your neighborhood. So you can try Truthfinder right now and get 50% off of confidential background reports. Just log on to www.truthfinder.com/LCCrimeFix and start accessing information about almost anyone. The chief became very emotional when talking about the crime.
What Deundrea Holloway, and it's probably the last time I'm going to use his name, and you will know whenever I'm referring to him. But what that monster was charged with today, about what she went through, can make some people just completely lost for words. That monster, that savage monster, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of intentional homicide of an unborn child, dismembering a human body, I'll say that again, dismembering a human body, offenses relating to motor vehicles, and concealment of a homicidal death.
Then the chief laid into Holloway.
She was savagely killed. She was decapitated. Decapitated by a freaking savage monster. Her unborn child was also killed as a result of this. So she was brutally murdered, as well as her unborn child. This daughter, this mother-to-be, and her family were in the planning stages of a baby shower that was supposed to be at the end of June. But instead, now the family was planning a funeral because of what a monster did. Irreprehensible. What a savage monster did to her. Her mother had to go through something that nobody should ever have to go through. First of all, no parent should ever have to bury their child. But her mother, not heard from her in a little bit, and wanted to go check on her to see if she was okay, and found her in a way that you can't imagine.
According to Liese's obituary, her family described her as a happy-go-lucky daughter, sister, niece, and friend that touched many lives with her warm heart and smile that could light up a room. The family adds that on her 10th birthday, rather than asking for gifts, she organized a fundraiser for Riverbend Humane Society. She held a very special place in her heart for animals. Liese's mom is going to join me to talk to me about her love of animals and the type of person that she was. Now remember, Liese was a young mom-to-be. She and her family called the unborn baby girl Baby Bean. I want to bring in Heidi Noel. She is Liese Dodd's mother. Thank you so much for coming on. I want to start by just asking you, how are you doing? I know this is it's just been such a long road.
It has. It's been a 2.5 year criminal trial process. So I have a big relief that it's finally resolved.
How are you feeling about the 60-year sentence?
From the beginning, I've always, my goal, I guess you could say, was that he admitted his guilt. He is incarcerated long enough that he can't hurt anyone else. And also that Liese's life was acknowledged, that he had taken it, and also Baby Bean, her life was acknowledged. And with this plea deal, all of those were met. So.
And you didn't have to sit, thank goodness, through a trial, which can just be so excruciating.
Correct. Yeah. Early on, I had wanted to go to trial, for him to have to sit in front of a jury and confess and acknowledge what he did. But as the time wore on, and the continuances and the delays, again, since all of my goals were met, and it was a long enough sentencing, I felt comfortable accepting the plea deal.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, the relationship between Liese Dodd and Holloway had been described as abusive, on again, off again. Heidi Noel actually found Liese that day in 2022.
I had recognized the severity of this relationship, and the potential for tragedy. So every day I made contact with her, either by phone or text, and there was a delay from when I had talked to her the night before, and didn't get a response from a text. So the next day I went to investigate to see where she was and if everything was okay. And I was actually the one that found her. So
I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine. finding
I would have to say
your
that
child
God
like that?
protected me in it, that I wasn't in the room long enough, and I only saw enough that I knew I couldn't intervene and that it was a crime scene and I needed to leave. So,
I'm so sorry. You said you recognized that the relationship was not a good one. I know it had been described as on again, off again.
yes, in the beginning, it began as control and just wanting to know her every move. And then in the year prior to this happening, there were three significant instances where he had physically abused her. Um, and we took every means we could to she was 22, so she was an adult. There wasn't a lot we could intervene in, but we had changed phone numbers and um, different interventions to try to have her recognize that it was not a safe environment for her. So,
I guess I would like you to tell me how you want people, what you want people to know about Lisa, and was she excited to become a mom?
she was very much looking forward to becoming a mom. Um, we were planning her baby shower, and I had just the Saturday before this happened sent out baby shower invitations. Um, One of the sad things is that the date that was supposed to be her baby shower ended up being her celebration of life. So, yeah.
Tell me about your daughter. I mean, what do you want people to know about her?
My hope is that this event doesn't define who she was. This is a tragic occurrence that happened to her, but it wasn't who she was. It shouldn't define her. She was a very giving person. She had a smile that lit up the room. Um, she was always there to lend a helping hand to anyone in need. Um, so just the fact that she was a giving person and had a big heart, and she felt she had a blessed life and she wanted to share those blessings with others.
How do you kind of move forward now? This has to still be very difficult. Each day you've closed kind of this chapter of it with the court proceedings, and he is going to be in prison for a really long time. Thank goodness. So he won't be able to hurt anybody else.
Correct.
But you still have to go on each day. I mean, are there things you do to kind of remember your daughter each day?
Yeah, she's a part of my everyday. Um, there's not a time during the day that I don't, stop often and think of her. Um, of course, on the days the date that this occurred, we remember her. We set off lanterns on her birthday. My graduating class actually donated a bench and a tree in a local park. So on her birthday, I decorated with however many years worth of balloons and put a note for children to take a balloon to help us celebrate Lisa's birthday. Um, so as far as moving forward, I know that grief is something that's always going to be with me. And I just kind of take each day as it comes and honor whatever feelings are there, and just know it's a lifelong process that until we're reunited, I have to live with the loss of her not being in my everyday physical existence.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to take it. That's kind of how you have to do it, is one day at a time.
Correct.
Are there any memories of her that you'd like people to know about? Or, I mean, anything about her particularly that you'd like people to know? Just the type of person she was, or things that
Sure,
she
sure.
liked, or anything like that?
Yeah, along with her giving soul, when she was 10 years old, she asked for donations to a local animal shelter instead of birthday presents for herself. She one time was driving and there was an injured pedestrian on the side of the road, and she stopped and lended aid to them and sat with them and kept them calm until the ambulance arrived. Um, there was one time we were walking in a parking lot, and there was a homeless man, and she offered money to him, to gave him money, even though I was like, yeah, we might not want to, do that, or offer him food instead. But she was that giving soul that just wanted to share the blessings that she had with others and help them see a better way of life or yeah.
That's really sweet. She sounded like she was just a sweet, sweet soul.
She was, yes. No, he was pretty much silent during any of the court proceedings, except answering the judge, never really making eye contact with us. Myself and my older daughter attended just about every one of the court proceedings there were. So, yeah, he never acknowledged us or said I'm sorry or um, yeah, but we weren't necessarily looking for that. So.
Liese Dodd's life was cut short by someone who exercised the ultimate act of control over her. She had so many dreams and goals and was working to achieve them.
There's so many and so little time. Um, just just that she was really looking forward to being a mom and starting that next phase. She had attended some healthcare classes at our local community college and was looking to go into the healthcare field. Um, so she had a lot of things on the horizon that she was looking forward to, and the actions of this one person um, ended those dreams for her, and also ended his dreams that he might have, and changed the whole landscape of our whole family um, for the rest of our time here. So.
Well, Heidi, I'm so appreciative that you were willing to spend some time with me to talk about Liese. And I'm so sorry for your loss. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.